Hello, my bows and peeps. Today, we are talking about some spoopy fears I have that may or may not be strange in the spirit of, spoopy month. So, first, before we get into the mix, today I'm drawing my persona as a witch. Though, I kind of bounce between making her pastel and fall themes, so, I'll put both versions at the end so you can decide which one's the better one. The bop I've been listening to on repeat this week is actually Little Wolf from the Epic musical. I definitely recommend it. If you like Greek mythology and animatics and just cool stuff like that, definitely would highly recommend. Though with that said, let us get into it. So. First on my list would definitely be piercings. And probably not in the way you think. I'm not scared of someone having piercings or wearing piercing. I'm more so scared of myself having them. And the way that funny enough, I was talking about this with a friend while we were playing The Forest. And I'm just afraid what if I had just have a belly piercing, right? And I'm just walking la di da, la di da, la di da, and it just gets caught on something like a clothing or someone's sleeve, and it's just ripped, just and then it's dang, skin missing from my belly button now, completely gone. And I know that's very unlikely to happen, though. I just know what my clumsiness and how I just just trip and fall and just do all this crazy stuff, but that would most likely happen to me some way, somehow. And I just applaud the people who are brave enough to wear them because I'm too scared. I am way too scared. They look fashionable, but I'm just too scared. Next on the list would definitely have to be being eaten alive. Which indirectly gave me a phobia of snakes. I think the fear really started ever since I watched that one Naruto episode where Naruto during the Chunin arc was trapped in the belly of a snake, and it just seemed like such a very painful way to die. And that ever since then has stuck a nerve with me, and I'm just that's just a really real fear. Even though there aren't many animals that can eat us humans alive unless it is a giant snake. Next, while on the topic of being confined to tight spaces and dying slowly, my next fear would probably be cave diving or spelunking, especially because you're diving deep down into these deep trenches and caves, and there's the potential that you could get stuck down there, like in the Nutty Putty accident. I would not recommend looking up on your own unless you're screaming. But the guy that went in there, he was climbing into this one chamber of the cave that he thought to be called the birth canal. Which, first of all, why would you even go somewhere that's so tight that they compare it to a birth? That makes no sense to me. But anyways, bro crawled up in there, right? He accidentally took the wrong path though, and he got stuck, like facing forward, just stuck in that position, for hours and hours on end. And apparently, the rescuers weren't even able to get to them. They managed to pull him out just a little bit, where they could see his face and he could see them. And then the line snapped, and he was just stuck there forever. And they had to let him slowly die there. And that just sounds so terrible and horrible. And it's just that just gives me a fear. I'd never want to be in a position like that. But I guess that's the best thing. That's the great thing about cave diving and spelunking. You don't have to do it. Next on the docket is definitely giant bug, which is funny because I love drawing bug people with their little cute outfits and designs. Though if I saw something like Mr. Centipede from James and the Giant Peach crawling on my wall, I'm gone. Immediately gone. They can have the house, they can have the keys, they can take over the whole lease. I'm out of here. It's I just cannot, I can't do it with the giant bugs. They're so scary, they crawly, they have too many legs. And at that point, they can be the whole homeowner. They can take the whole building. I just can't. Next is having surgery performed on me while I'm like wide awake. Reason why I think I'm so scared of this idea is like when I first heard of like how C-sections are performed. And it's like, so like how my cousin described it to me, like you're wide awake. Of course, you're like numb down there and stuff like that, but you're wide awake and you're having your organs just being pulled out onto the table where like a thin sheet just separates you from seeing all that, like your guts just on the table while they're pulling out the to get to the bait. And it's like the idea of being awake and having my literal vital organs pumping and doing all that stuff just out on a table like that, just it gives me the shivers and it makes me very very unnerved, and I just feel like I couldn't do it. Next on the list, I would say definitely is driving. Like, driving makes me so anxious and scared. Even though I only have my permit, so technically I've never driven alone. It's just so like nerve-wracking and it kind of feels like really embarrassing to admit, because like I'm like 20 something and I still don't have my license because I'm like so scared to drive by myself. And I guess like maybe more so the fact that I might not be like scared of driving itself, like, because as long as you're safe and the weather conditions are great, you're fine, you're good. It's like the reckless drivers you really have to worry about. like like they literally should not have a license, and yet they're on the road at all times of the day and can run you off of the road. And I guess that maybe that's my biggest fear, I guess, more so than driving. I just hope one day, very soon, driving 30 miles per hour won't seem so fast. Yes, I know, I'm a granny driver, but I promise I usually only drive the speed limit. I just drive the speed limit. Not below it, not above it, just the speed limit. Now on number 7, I would have to say most definitely solo traveling. Most definitely. It makes me like really nervous to do so domestically or internationally. Like, I feel more secure to know either my bestie or my boyfriend has my back in case we get kidnapped and like thrown in the back of a trunk. I know it's a very unlikely scenario, and I think movies have really like warped my perception of traveling because everything just horribly always goes wrong in those type of movies. But like, I feel like I just have more peace of mind to know I have a ride or die fight to the death. Like, we are going guns blazing, like to get out of a bad situation. On to number 8. Speaking in front of crowds. Like, I know this is a very common fear. It's nonetheless, it's like one of my big top 10. Definitely, most definitely. What's fun fact, like I had a job at my university where I did a lot of talking. I was a docent for one of our 4D exhibits slash museum, talking and yapping about our school and how it came to be and all that jazz. And in that job, I always gave a little speech at the beginning and the end of the exhibit. And I thought that taking the job might improve my speaking, and I think it did at the time, but I absolutely loathed it. Like, I hated it so much. Like, if I could do a job of any kind from the comfort of my hobbit hole, I would be so happy, because I just don't like, though I can be friendly and nice and sweet, it's just like I don't like interacting with people unless I absolutely have to. And I just like to clarify, I don't hate people. I don't despise humanity. I don't loathe seeing every person I interact with. It's more so I just love spending time in my comfortable abode with all my squishmallows and blankets and pillows, just like all comfortably in my pajamas, rather than going out. Like, I have a Sosa battery of 2 hours at max, and I become very miserable if I go over that time. And now on number 9, getting to the last two, it would seem, big pills. Like, I hate taking them, like 110%. Like, I think I might choke if not splitting them in half. Like, especially with amoxicillin. I'm looking at you, yeah. Because let me tell you, they are not fun to take. I literally feel like I'm about to die taking one of them. And again, for the longest time, I feel like when I was a little dumb, a little silly, a little missing a few couple brain cells. When I was used to get ear infections, I used to tank those amoxicillin pills. Like I used to swallow them whole, one break them up, swallow them whole, and nearly choke and die while doing so. And ever since that point, I just like I hate seeing a big pill. Like there's no reason for them to be that big. No reason. I can't find any reason at all. Last but not least, number 10. And I guess this is more so like on a serious note, aside from my more goofy, more extreme one, would be a very real one. That's like of making the wrong decision. It's like so super scary, although it's like inevitable. Like I inevitable, unedible. Un- you guys know what I'm trying to say. Still on a serious note, I mean like in the sense that it can be scary to make that wrong decision, and as a result of me like having to be on the receiving end of a lot of wrong decisions the people around me make, it's like so frightening to think that I might make those very same decisions and have those same results and be like stuck in within this cycle of making bad decisions. And I'm not going to always know. It's important to know that I'm not going to always know, you're not going to always know what's the right decision to make. But when you do fail or make those bad decisions, you can learn from them and grow from them. You're not going to be stuck in that cycle forever. And it's just important to know that. And that concludes the top 10 fears. Woohoo, we did it. This list was actually a lot harder to make than I thought. Like I had to really sit down and think about fears that I that were like generally like super duper extra scary to me. Like out of all the other regular fears. Also, as you can see on the screen, there's the pastel witch and the fall witch. Please let me know in the comments which one you guys you prefer. Honestly, I'm like 50-50. Like I could go either way. Though on Tumblr, they also agreed that they could go either way. So I'd like to hear your thoughts as well. All right, thank you guys. So I'll talk to you again next Friday. All right, bye.